Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious video. I need to come clean. I need to confront what I am being persecuted of that is against my freedoms. I was a proud Australian. And, oh, hang on, let me just fix the edit here so that there we go. Yeah, sorry, I forget that film's upside down because I live in upside down land. Anyway, I am a victim of a tyrannical government trying to control our way of life. And I can't stand it anymore. My mental state is declining. Now, apparently there's some, specifically Americans, who think that that is what is happening here right now. Some of you New Yorkers are the literal protest in your own city about our country's lockdown measures. Why? It makes no change. I mean, it's one thing when it's like a worldwide issue that you're talking about, but like, that country-specific quarantine measures, nah. But okay, look, it's right for people to want to be disagreeing and up in arms about the way some things are being dealt with. It's another when you try and relate it to absolute Hitler tyranny. On that note of a segue, meet Candace. She's really striking us with her beautiful trash bag outfit today. Nice sleeves. Just waiting for the garbage man to pick you up, eh?
Boo! You suck!
You know what they say, you are what you eat, so.
That doesn't even make sense, you still suck!
So this is apparently, I haven't seen the whole video yet, but this is a shocking testimony from an Australian living in an authoritarian crisis. Let's enjoy this. I'll be the Australian fact checker. Let's see how much of this is actually legitimate.
My husband has a lot of family members who live in Australia. They're all wonderful people. Despite the fact that we do not always agree on politics, they're kind of, the old school type. They don't really let politics get in the way of their meaningful relationship.
I'm sorry, that's old school politics? Respecting each other? I mean, okay, maybe it depends on the politics specifically. Like, if you're like, you know what, racism isn't that bad, then okay, yeah, I'm gonna real struggle to respect you.
What do you mean you disagree with the allocation of the state's budget? I'll kill you!
Well, recently he received a message from one of these family members, and she was expressing how the mental state of everyone around her is in steep decline.
Aww.
She shared with him a message that she had received from a friend of hers, a woman who lives in Queensland.
Wait, what? What? Queensland? What do you mean mental state declining in Queensland? No. Okay. Oh, wow. Only 40 seconds in and I'm already just energized. Okay, Queenslander here. Okay, no, I'm gonna look up the statistics of it. So, in case you're not aware of the Australia state setup, here's a little, I'm gonna green screen it there for you. There you go. Queensland is run by a majorly, I say, left-leaning government. They're quite well known for the moment. There's like 1 or 2 cases in the community. They'll just lock down almost the entire state. Not the entire state, mainly just the main areas that are with COVID hotspots. As a result, Queensland's total cases are 2,007 deaths over the since COVID began. Let's just go over to, let's look at the other states. New South Wales, how you doing, buddy? What are you? 74,000 cases and 500 deaths. Wow, that's only a little bit more than Queensland. Jeez. Victoria? Victoria, what are you doing? Now, it is kind of ironic because Victoria is also a left-leaning government, so you can't really argue that, the left people know how to manage better. No, it's not so much managing people, but just the population themselves knowing how to manage themselves. So that's why I'm sorry, your declining mental state in Queensland? Honey, we've been locked down for a maximum maybe, like 3 months? Spread out within a week lockdown, a 5-day lockdown there, a 3-day lockdown there, throughout the last year and a half. Whoever this friend from Queensland is can shut their bloody mouth.
Shocked reading this message, and I decided that for this episode, I'm just going to read it to you verbatim.
Okay,
so just to get you guys ready, it's a list of the COVID rules.
Let's make fun of someone struggling with their mental health.
I want you to that this was your life.
Yeah,
and to imagine what your mental state would be like if you were being made to abide by.
All right, I'm so ready for this because the only rules we have right now that are restricting is please wear your masks indoors if you can't be spaced out more than, 1.5 meters. Otherwise, you don't need to wear a mask.
First and foremost, there are a limited number of people allowed in your household, and at various times, we are told we are allowed no visitors.
No. oh, no, that's not the case. This is, no, maybe she didn't mean Queensland. Maybe she misinterpreted. Maybe Candace here can't read. Maybe this person wished they were in Queensland instead of New South Wales or Victoria, which are actually in heavy lockdowns right now. Because of, there's this thing around that's making everyone sick. I don't know what that's about.
Must scan a QR code to go everywhere, literally everywhere, including toilets.
No, no, not every literal toilet, public toilet requires you to sign into a QR code. Also, I mean, I feel it says more about us Australians and our laziness, but so many people don't even bother scanning that thing. And yet we're still doing better than America. Yeah.
And there are helicopters patrolling the skies to ensure that everyone is abiding by the curfews.
Now, this is true. However, this was also when the cases were rising exponentially, like cases from just 5 throughout the week to suddenly getting hundreds. The damn Delta Goodrum had made herself known. I go into more detail later about how lazily the state government dealt with this virus during this outbreak, but it is not surprising that the public is outraged to be treated like this suddenly 2 weeks after being told it was going to be totally fine.
Namely because, from what I've been told from friends down in Sydney, it's because Sydney has east and western suburbs. Western suburbs kind of commonly comprised of a lot of immigrant or foreign families. Police would go to these houses that need to be locked down, they check on them, see they're all good, then literally see them just get in their car and drive off to work, like if they work for Uber or something like that. And the people there, they're just like, well, I need to work. I can't get government handouts because I'm not technically an Australian citizen yet. It's a very complicated situation down there, and understandably it's kind of frustrating on both ends because, you know, you need money to survive, but also you need to stay at home the entire time. What do you do? But helicopters patrolling the skies, yeah, no, they're not, this isn't GTA 5. They're not going to snipe you from the helicopter.
Put that in perspective, that's about 3 miles. A little over 3 miles from your home, you're not allowed to travel past. You are not allowed to go past 5 kilometers from your home. Just put that in perspective.
It's really confusing me because these are all restrictions that were in Sydney for the last 3 and 4 months. New South Wales is here. New South Wales, down, Queensland, up. So this person is basically just sulking about the treatment of their neighbors that they're going through because they're all super sick and needing to isolate because if they get allowed to, they will spread it to the entire neighborhood. Kind of don't want that. Personally, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to get sick.
You're not allowed to sit down at parks, beaches, and public spaces. You're not allowed to drink or eat while standing up anywhere. You must sit down to drink or eat everywhere.
So this is partially true. Yes, you must sit down if you're going to consume anything anywhere. Parks and benches you're not allowed to be at. If you are going outside of your zone, yes. Here's the other problem too. All these arguments are very fair to say. Like, this sucks. Of course it sucks. No Schmidt, Sherlock. The point is they're necessary because we didn't have enough vaccines yet at the time. Granted, the people complaining about this are likely the people who won't bother getting a vaccine. But even then, if you're someone who follows Australian politics, because of course they're such an important, integral part of people's viewing experience, I recommend you follow Friendly Geordies here on YouTube. He's I'm pretty confident through the videos he's made that he caused the Premier of New South Wales and the Deputy Premier of New South Wales to step down. He's literally getting sued by this Italian guy for basically exposing his corrupt career. Very entertaining. Delicious. Point of all this, it is partially because of this government's laziness to jump onto getting harsh lockdowns straight away that caused these later lockdown issues to occur. They could have done a hard 5-day lockdown, but instead they waited literally 2 weeks before actually being like, oh, maybe we should lock down the city.
No dancing anywhere.
Oh, not the dancing. We're all so good at it.
Dog parks, playgrounds, bike parks, beaches are closed and barricaded. Mask wearing is required when outside, and even if you are alone. And at one point in Queensland, it was also required when in your car alone or mowing the front lawn.
Okay, so she's bringing up the Queensland thing again. This is where it's really, is this person from New South Wales or Queensland? Because Queensland had these restrictions for maybe like 2 months max last year when we were still trying to figure out how to deal with COVID. Like, obviously things were up in the air at the time. Obviously things were a bit like, whoa, what is going on? How do we deal with this? Is this too much? Is this too little? Delta, yeah, she's a great singer. What do you mean she's infesting people?
Small businesses are shut down while big businesses are allowed to operate. This next one to me is it's insane. It's so crazy. Ready? Citizens are locked out of their home state. Thousands of them are not allowed to return unless they get a vaccine, and only after they go through a slow and restrictive exemption request process. Okay, so imagine you live in Tennessee.
See, it's annoying because these are true things that are happening, but these are things that are happening because of people's own decisions to do these things. I robbed a store and now I'm being arrested for it. We're still in a pandemic. States decide to open for a bit because, hey, let's give some people some freedom to, stretch their legs. You decide to fly to an entire other state while we're still getting cases pop up here and there, and then all of a sudden, outbreak occurs. What do you expect's gonna happen? See, my frustration with all this is that people don't seem to comprehend that this is a point in our century where we as a society are going through a bit of a struggle together. This isn't a case of your food at the restaurant tasting spoiled. This isn't a singularly you issue. It is a group issue. We all have to deal with this. We're all burdened with this. It's not just you.
So you're just saying we should just have to deal with it then?
No, stupid me, he's just trying to make an argument with myself to make myself sound smarter. There is already progress being made to make our days and lives feel a lot better because of the vaccines and all these lockdowns and stuff to help get rid of the virus so it's not as prominent in our society. And on the emergency health system. Problem is, it takes time because it's a very big issue.
But I only like to watch 15-second videos on TikTok. I have no time for waiting.
It's actually unimaginable not being able to go home because you have to be vaccinated. Not only that, you have to apply once you get the vaccine to be able to go home. This is what is going on right now in Australia. For the last 20 years, the United States has spent trillions of dollars overseas in Afghanistan fighting a war, which we lost, by the way. So I'm going to ask those same lecturing politicians and media members a question now. When do we deploy troops to Australia? When do we invade Australia and free?
You know we're your ally, right? If anything, your country would be endorsing. People sulking about this stuff aren't sulking about their lack of freedom. They're sulking about their sudden responsibility. You suddenly have to care about the people around you and how you can affect them. And you don't like that. 'Cause I want to be able to do things without any repercussions.
Australia currently, make no mistake, is a tyrannical police state. Its citizens are quite literally being imprisoned against their will. So when...
We're not being imprisoned against their will. And also, okay, if we're gonna go on the note of imprisonment, I'm sorry, but my prison literally being my house where I have my aircon, my bed, my computer, my gaming system, all this stuff, that's a pretty nice prison. Now, on that note, though, Australia is, we're getting a bit sketchy with our, little policing state stuff. In about early September, there was this Identify and Disrupt bill spreading around. They made amendments to this law that basically enables police and security forces, that basically enables police and criminal investigators to access your social medias, your private data, all that stuff, and they could personally edit, remove, and things that they wanted for the sake of their criminal investigation. Now, obviously, you hear that and you think, wait, so they could literally plant digital evidence against me? And the answer is yes. Yes, they could. Well, that's wrong. That they shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, I'm going to protest against that. Absolutely. You should absolutely protest against those kind of things. I'll support that. However, what a lot of people, including myself at the time, didn't actually take into account is if you read the bills and the amendments, it required about approvals from 3 separate bodies. Basically, a lot of paperwork and approval and proof that there was a legitimate reason to need to do this. Its intention is purely to help them basically go undercover. You know, if they want to find out who your drug dealer is, they're gonna pretend to be you on social media, that kind of thing. Now, I still think it's a bit sketchy, but at least there are some safeguards to ensure it can't just be abused because, you're doing the wrong thing. There have been some other things coming up as of late. This stuff has not been painting our government in a good light lately, especially with, going back to Friendly Geordies here, he's actually getting sued, and his mate got arrested for literally approaching a politician to say hello because they've made expose videos on this guy. The politician reacted by getting an anti-terrorist force to come to the guy's house. I believe he assaulted their dog and pulled the guy out of his own house, dumping him into the police station. Police had no idea what the hell was going on and how to deal with this. But just to clarify, in Australia, a politician used an anti-terrorism squad to harass, slightly assault, and intimidate a YouTuber journalist team because he didn't like what they were exposing about him on the internet. I just say this because while a lot of what she's saying here is so dumb, part of it is very important to bring to light.
Was happening in Australia under the guise of a virus, which, by the way, as of August 7, 2021, experts estimate the overall recovery rate is between 97% and 99.75%.
Okay, honey, just because someone recovers from a virus doesn't mean that they're totally perfect health. I can recover from a car crash, but if I've lost both my legs in the process, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to encourage people to still get into. So the rest of the video is her just sulking about the fact that,
oh, the American government won't do anything because they support this tyranny.
which, yeah, look, okay. Sure. All I'm gonna say is that if I'm in a tyrannical country right now, then what are North Koreans complaining about? This is great. Look
Look at the tyranny. Oh, all these people. Oh, the suffering and tyranny. Oh no, the poor souls. Oh, what am I gonna do?
Look, if I'm meant to be in tyranny right now, then I'm really disappointed. Where's all the chains and whips, huh? I was expecting a bit more, a bit more stuff, Overall, look, we're fine. We're good. Declining mental states? Yeah, they suck. But I'd rather be stuck on my house for a limited period of time and breathing comfortably. Anyway, that's going to end my rambles. Thanks for watching. That's an interesting video today, but hopefully you had some fun. My name's been Jack, the snack that smiles back. You've been a lovely person to ramble with today. Follow my socials down in the description below. Say hello to me in the comments. Hi. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.